Like Travis Hunter is going to be a bust.
On the defensive side.
Not offensive?
I think if he can pick a lane, I think his best route is just going on offense, focusing on that. You're at the top league. The guys around you in every position are the best players from college in every position. So I think he really has to just focus on his offensive game first, because if he's on both sides of it, they're just going to try to take advantage of that.
Yeah.
I saw it on a fourth down play. He was guarding Andre Isiovas, whoever that guy is, and he PI on a fourth down. They just threw it his way because they knew that he was probably the weakest cornerback out there. So teams are going to have a target on him.
2025 was supposed to be Travis Hunter's victory lap. Fresh off a Heisman Trophy win, he went number 2 overall in the NFL draft and cashed in with a massive $30 million signing bonus up front. On top of that, he bought himself a brand new house, tied the knot with the love of his life, Lena, and oh yeah, he became a father too.
I found out I was pregnant February 4th of this year. We weren't trying, but we weren't not trying, you know what I'm saying? We knew what we were doing. And Travis wanted babies really, really bad. I mean, he's wanted babies for a long time. I was just adamant on being married first.
It looked like everything was falling perfectly into place. A dream life, right? And if that wasn't enough, Travis stepped into the league trying to be Superman, lining up at both cornerback and wide receiver. Sounds legendary, but right now, it's looking like the worst decision of his career and the worst move the Jacksonville Jaguars could have made. Through 2 games, the numbers are ugly. On offense, just 9 catches for 55 yards, barely 6 yards a pop. On defense, same story, flat. The hype is crashing and the critics are piling on heavy. Now don't get it twisted. Travis is a freak athlete, a hard worker, a straight-up student of the game, but trying to play both sides of the ball in the NFL, people warned him this was coming, and now the commentators are having a field day dragging him for it. The Jaguars thought they were drafting a once-in-a-generation weapon. Instead, they mortgaged draft picks, lost future capital, and right now, he's looking average at best. But here's the twist. Maybe this isn't all on Travis. Chris Sims pointed out the obvious. They didn't take Hunter at number 2 just to get mediocrity. They could have had a quarterback, a receiver, or a corner. Instead, they traded up, threw away assets, and got a guy who's not producing.
Hitters are going to town behind it. The Jacksonville Jaguars did not trade up to the number 2 pick to get Travis Hunter to come and play on both sides of the ball and us sit here and go, did he do anything good on either side of the ball yesterday? That's what you traded up for the number 2 pick for? Like, just to be like, oh yeah, he was okay at receiver. Oh yeah, he did some things on the defensive side of the ball. Like, that's not why you make the trade for Travis Hunter.
Brutal. Still, Steve Smith is breaking it down on his YouTube channel, and he says the problem goes deeper. He claims Hunter's stuck, splitting his time in offensive meetings, talking run game ideology instead of truly locking in on one role, and that could be the real reason behind his struggles. You're in there sitting with the wideouts, tight ends, and O-line, locked into the week's run schemes and blocking assignments. Every detail matters. Steve Smith said when he played in the NFL, his grind was insane. He'd get to the facility at 7 in the morning and wouldn't leave until 10:30 at night. That's workouts, film study, meetings, just on the offensive side alone. Then it gets even deeper. After those big coordinator meetings, you break it all down with your position coach, your wide receiver coach, learning how to attack DBS, figuring out what each defensive coordinator is going to bring. And remember, in the AFC South, you'll see some coordinators twice a year, but the rest, every week, brand new looks, brand new schemes. It's nonstop mental warfare. Now imagine all that prep as a wideout and then flipping the script to defense. Travis Hunter's also in the DB room where the defensive coordinator lays out a whole new system, new packages, new assignments. Then you break down further with the cornerbacks and nickelbacks. That's 2 playbooks, 2 philosophies, 2 completely different worlds. And that's where the problem is. Travis is splitting himself in half. Critics are already saying it's unsustainable, and some are even whispering the word nobody wants to hear, bust. Even podcasts like Sandbox Sessions are throwing it out there. Shout out to them.
When an offensive coordinator is breaking down the philosophy for that week, we all meet offensive linemen, tight end, wide receivers, running backs, quarterbacks. And we're all sitting there. And then they go over what the emphasis of this week some of the nuances. And then after they do that, because the wide receivers have to sit and hear, hey, this is the blocking scheme on the run plays that we're doing. Wide receivers, check force. Hey, tight ends, when they call this you call, you have to possibly go ahead and double down. If we're running, double down and go to the second level. Then they break it off and say, hey, potty break. Hey, go get a piss. Go stretch your legs. Let's keep guys up. Let's not make them fall asleep. Then the offensive linemen leave. And now it's all predicated on the passing game.
But the question hangs heavy, is Travis Hunter in over his head? They made a powerful point, and it showed up in real time on the field. During a game against the Bengals, the Jaguars actually had momentum. They were in the lead, and then came the moment everyone's still talking about. Travis Hunter lined up at nickel, and on a crucial 4th down, he blew it. Instead of sticking to his zone, he chased the receiver, got tangled up, and ended up flagged for pass interference. That one mistake flipped the game, and many believe it cost Jacksonville the win. Why did it happen? Simple. He's not locked in with the defensive coaches the way he should be. When you're stretched between two positions, you miss out on the finer details that separate good from great.
You break down to your position meetings, and then the wide receiver coach goes over, hey, I know that was a lot, guys. Who has questions? Here are some of the things that we need to talk about, because last week we ran it like this. This week, that DB is a little bit better. This week, that secondary is a lot better. This week, that defensive coordinator is more exotic. All of this is done from 7 o'clock to 10:30. All that goes on between 7 o'clock. And on the other side, the defense is doing the same thing. The whole defense is meeting.
And in the NFL, details decide games. Now Travis is under a mountain of pressure. He's the guy they invested millions into, the one they traded up for. And yet, on both sides of the ball, his production is underwhelming. The critics aren't just pointing to his defense, though. Offensively, his route running is getting torn apart. At the NFL level, every step, every cut has to be razor sharp, and Travis just doesn't look polished. Analysts are saying he looks stiff, his agility doesn't pop, and his breaks aren't clean. Sure, anybody can drop a pass, but it's the sloppy repetition that stands out. He's not getting enough focus reps at wide receiver to sharpen his craft, and it shows. So what's the real issue here? Travis is trying to be everywhere at once, and it's hurting him on both ends. The truth is, he needs to zero in on one position, and wide receiver seems like the obvious choice. That's where he can maximize his talent, put up big numbers, and eventually sprinkle in defensive snaps when the time is right. But trying to balance both full-time, it's dragging him down fast. And here's the hard pill to swallow. No matter how much ego or talent you have, you can't do everything at the highest level. In business, in life, maybe you can juggle a little. In college ball, like when Travis was at Colorado, you can dominate lesser competition and make it look easy. But in the NFL, the schemes are sharper, the players are faster, and the margin for error is zero. That's why his experiment is crashing head first into reality. When you get to the NFL, it's a whole different world. You're not the only star athlete anymore. In college, Travis Hunter could walk onto the field and dominate. Teams avoided him. Quarterbacks flat out refused to throw his way. But in the NFL, every player is elite, every receiver is fast, every corner is sharp, and the quarterbacks, they're smarter than ever. Instead of avoiding Travis, they're targeting him, picking on him, throwing directly at him, because they know he doesn't have the same reps, the same experience at defensive back as a full-time corner. That's the harsh reality he's facing. And it's not just football, it's a life lesson. At some point, you can't juggle everything. You have to lock in on one path and master it. Doesn't matter if you think you can do it all. Reality will humble you quick. And right now, Travis is learning that lesson the hard way. Think about the weight on his shoulders. He's a brand new father, a newlywed husband, living in a brand new city and trying to master 2 NFL positions at the same time. That's insane pressure by itself. But then add the critics, the fans, and an organization that threw millions at you expecting instant greatness. That pressure can crush even the strongest mind. And here's the danger. When a player who's been praised his whole life finally hits adversity, it can shatter confidence. In college, Travis was untouchable. Now he's being exposed on national TV. That doesn't mean he's not talented. It doesn't mean he's washed or that he can't succeed. But in this league, Being talented isn't enough. Everyone out there is talented. The difference comes from reps, film study, experience, and focus. NFL history is filled with stories of first-round draft picks who never lived up to the hype, not because they weren't athletic, but because the NFL is ruthless. Injuries, schemes, coaching, mental toughness, even off-field distractions, all of it plays a role. Being a superstar in college doesn't guarantee you'll be one in the league, and right now, Travis Hunter is towing that line. He's either going to figure it out and reinvent himself, or he's going to be another what could have been story. That's the thing about the NFL. Sometimes it ain't even about talent, it's about timing and luck. You could have the perfect coach who believes in you, but then he gets fired. A new general manager comes in, doesn't see you as his guy, and suddenly you're fighting for a job. Or the system changes overnight. You go from fitting in perfectly to being completely out of place. Add in injuries, politics, and media pressure, and it's clear. Surviving in the league takes more than just skill. It takes breaks going your way. And for Travis Hunter, this is his wake-up call. He came in thinking he could do it all. Wide receiver, cornerback, face of the franchise, new husband, new dad, all at once. But the NFL is exposing that you cannot do everything at the highest level. That's not failure, that's just reality. Even the greats in history mastered one craft before branching out. The truth is, life works the same way. Everybody wants to juggle, chase 10 different goals at once, but spreading yourself too thin is the fastest way to fall behind. Travis is learning the hard way that simplifying, locking in on one lane, and sharpening that edge is how you actually win long term, because while you're trying to do everything, someone else out there is dedicating every ounce of energy to perfecting one skill, and they're gonna pass you. It's the same principle that explains why billionaires like Warren Buffett didn't chase every shiny new thing. He didn't try to be a tech mogul, a real estate king, and a fashion icon all at once. He mastered one lane, investing, and built an empire off it. Travis needs to take a page out of that playbook. Pick his lane, sharpen his craft, and build his legacy the smart way instead of trying to be Superman. Because here's the hard truth. If he doesn't adjust now, the league will adjust for him. Warren Buffett built an empire by sticking to what he knew best, stocks and businesses. He wasn't out here trying to be a tech guru or a real estate giant because he understood the power of mastering one lane. Now with Travis Hunter, it's not that he doesn't understand football. He does. He knows wide receiver, he knows cornerback, but the problem is he doesn't know either role at the NFL level, and that's the gap that's showing right now. In college, he could rely on raw talent. But in the pros, you're lining up against quarterbacks with cannon arms, pinpoint accuracy, and football IQ that's off the charts. You're facing coordinators who've been drawing up schemes longer than you've been alive, and head coaches who live and breathe strategy. Every opponent is stronger, faster, smarter, and every play is designed to expose the tiniest weakness. And that's the reality check. Sometimes it doesn't matter how gifted you are, you can't spread yourself thin in a league where everyone is a genius at their craft. That doesn't mean Travis is a failure. It doesn't mean he won't bounce back, but right now, his Superman experiment is colliding headfirst with NFL reality. So now I gotta ask, what do you think? Is Travis Hunter destined to figure it out and prove the doubters wrong, or is this the start of him being labeled one of the biggest draft busts ever? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure you like this video, hit that subscribe button, and let me know what you think down below. And trust me, we got way more drama, controversy, and sports chaos to cover, so stay locked in, and I'll see you in the next one.